Hey guys, it's Peter, and I'm back again. Of course I'm back. I'm not going anywhere. Beast. I'm so tired. I'm YouTube famous now. Available in 2000 BC. The album, Dad AF. All right, let's get right. Rock on, gold dust, gorgeous woman. Let's get right into this video. If you guys know the inside joke from drama class, are you here for drama class? Get your pens, get your papers. Be here for drama class. Okay, let's get right into this. First of all, I do love this fan, I have to say, but covering all this drama between James and Gabriel Zamora and Jeffree Star, listen, they all are so, I want to be grand too. They all act so grand. I need a new fan. So I'm going to use this gold fan covering, do you guys love that Rich Lux when he does that James Charles Drama 24/7 live? I love that so much. I called him the other day and I sang it to him. I was like, Rich, this is hilarious. Okay. In all seriousness, we need to discuss something, okay? I would like to take a moment of silence for my drama brothers and sisters out there. We are working tirelessly to bring you the grand drama. Which side did this fan go on? The grand drama of the world, Party City. I got this fan at. Okay. So, 3 weeks ago before this drama started, or 2 weeks ago, this is how I felt and looked. This is how I feel and look today, okay? Worn out. So anyway, those were the dogs. Ding-a-ling-a-ling, sham-a-lang, ding-ding-dong, ding. How's the drama? How's the drama? How's the drama? What is it that I say? How's the drama phone? This is Peter speaking. Oh, hi, Jane. How are you? Well, I'm just sitting here watching all the drama. Well, I was watching the James Charles video. It was almost exactly the same time that Tati's video was. I think that might have been planned. And then I was watching the Peter Monn drama video. I always just feel like I'm sitting up in this kitchen having a conversation. Smells so good with the candle waxes burning and the dogs running around. So much fun. Well, he said in his video that Jeffree Star was going to have to come out and that a tweet or a Snapchat story or an Instagram story probably wasn't good enough. But Jeffree Star came out with a tweet. Did you see that, Jane? Well, I'm a James Charles fan. I don't care if you're a Jeffree Star fan. You're a Jeffree Star fan, then we can't be friends anymore, Jane. Goodbye. That's kind of what all this is becoming at this point. You know, it's interesting to me when I'm watching it all go down and I'm reading the threads underneath there, and literally at this point, fans are fighting with each other. And it's so, I think people are so confused at this point. There are so many receipts out, there are so many allegations, there are so many sides to this story that nobody knows what to believe anymore. And I said this a couple days ago, and I'm going to say it again. Hire Andy Cohen, hire me, hire whoever. Y'all need to sit in a room together and we need to just beef it all out, get out the truth, throw out all the receipts, you know, like Vanderpump Rules reunion or, you know, Real Housewives of Atlanta. That's my favorite all day long. So anyway, we need to get it all out and just know what it is, okay? Or this is literally going to go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth all day long. And, you know, like, I said this in my last video. Based on what I know right now, this is what I think. But every time I make a video, it's like it changes because more and more comes out. And I think people are really getting confused. I think the other thing is people are really, really getting tired of it. It was interesting because there was a tweet underneath Jeffree Star's newest tweet, and somebody said something, it was so funny, you guys. They were like, all I want is makeup tutorials, I feel fugly. And I was like, okay, I live for this, right? And that's the real sadness about all of this, is that the foundation, and I've said this before, the foundation of all of this drama is based in the beauty community, okay? A community that is focused on makeup tutorials and making people, you know, like, feel good on the outside so they can feel good on the inside. And all of this is just so sad and ugly, you know? And I was watching Drama Alert's video, and he brought up a really good point in there. He brought up the point that, you know, like when James Charles started to tank, that Tati's sales of her vitamins must have gone through the roof, as well as Jeffree Star's makeup. So how much of this is about money? How much of this is about popularity? What do you guys think about all that below? I know, like, it was interesting when I was, like, watching the James Charles video. There are still people that are like, no, there's nothing to this. People are speculating that he doctored his receipts on there, which is interesting to me because James Charles at this point he has to put out some kind of response. I mean, if we think about this from a logical point of view, if James Charles puts out doctored receipts, he knows that people are going to come out and they're going to find that that's not true. He knows that they're going to show that they're fake receipts. So on top of everything else, for James Charles to fake receipts and put them in the video, I'm not buying it. I'm just not. Because it would make him look 10 times worse than he already does, unless he really just wants to destroy his own career at this point. So I have to believe, based on what I saw, that those receipts are somewhat true, okay? Or they are true, like based on that. Well, as soon as my video went up, I started getting all of these messages from people on Instagram, and they were like, did you see that James Charles unfollowed Shane Dawson? And I was like, okay, this is very, very interesting. Because Shane Dawson really hasn't had any kind of say in all of this. Except for that, you know, the other day he said, I think that we're all over the tea. We need to have kind of a nice moment. We need to say something. So I went over and I looked, and James Charles did unfollow Shane Dawson. Well, we know that Shane Dawson is very closely aligned with Jeffree Star right now because of the series that he's doing that supposedly isn't just about Jeffree Star, but it is about, I think, the making of the makeup. People are speculating now that it's about all this drama and things like that. People are saying that maybe this is Shane Dawson's series. And like I said in my last video, I find it really, really hard to believe that James Charles would put his reputation and his career on line at the expense of a Shane Dawson documentary. Well, what he has indirectly done is he's forced Jeffree, and I said this in my video a couple days ago, I said if James Charles comes out and does a tell-all on what really happened, whether people believe him or not, and that's up to you guys, what you believe, it's going to force Jeffree to say something, and it might force Shane Dawson to take a side or say something, which I have to believe, having known Shane in the past, that he doesn't want any part of this kind of mess. He really, really doesn't. So it's kind of interesting what's going on with all of that. Jeffree Star put out a tweet, and I put this in my last video, but the tweet he put out said, before you believe anything that was said today, remember, there are always two sides to every story. And since I commented in that my last video, I'm not going to comment it again. People are saying you already had your side, you already put your stuff out there. Other people are saying, hey, you know, James put out his video, Tati put out her videos, let Jeffree Star say what he wants to say. Okay, so like I said in my last video, an Instagram story is not good enough, a Snapchat story is not good enough, a tweet's not good enough. If you're going to make a video, if you're going to say something, come out in a video and say what you have to say. I am reserving further judgment until I hear what Jeffree Star has to say. A lot of people are saying, would you guys please work this out off camera? Like, this is on a level of toxicity now that is unbelievable for everybody involved. Most importantly, the fans, okay? I hear all this conversation about, you know, the younger fans looking up to this, the younger fans this, and to be honest, with all of these people, the majority of them, they're following, other than I would say Tati, like I would say that most of her following is more of probably a mature audience, but Jeffree Star and James both have really young audiences following them, and what's interesting to me about that is, past all of the stuff that's been put out there, the way that this whole thing is, the whole way the situation is being handled is role modeling to these younger kids how to handle situations. It's very much an eye for an eye, come for each other mentality, cancel each other mentality. They're canceling each other. You know, everybody's talking about cancel culture. They're canceling each other at this point. Like, that is really what's going on. And so it's really sad to sit back. I mean, I think as adults, we can kind of differentiate what's going on and go, okay, well, I'm going to wait and see, or it's not that deep, or I don't have an emotional attachment to this people, or what's really going on. But kids live and die for these people. And it's a completely different story, you know? So then, because I said that Jeffree Star was going to make a statement, Jeffree Star came out and he put this statement out let's see, 2 hours ago. Everyone keeps asking me for receipts. I have so much to say and some really sad, disgusting things to show you guys. James Charles tried to mass manipulate you all today. When I show you the proof and why I tweeted that tweet about him, you will all finally understand. So my first thought about seeing this was, well, what does he have? What are these receipts? Because James Charles, in making his video, had to know that Jeffree Star had receipts on him, if that's truly the case. And I said in my last video that it's kind of like behind the scenes, it's kind of known that Jeffree Star does have receipts on people and all this kind of stuff. So he really knows what's, like, he keeps that stuff, you know? So it's going to be interesting. It sounds to me like Jeffree Star is going to make a video and he's going to come out and say what he's got to say. I looked on their social blade, and from what I can see, James Charles, since he's put up his video, has gained 300,000 plus subscribers and is continuing to grow. Jeffree Star is losing, not at that fast of a rate, and Tati is losing at about double the amount that Jeffree Star is losing. So it's going to be interesting to see, you know, when you talk about mass manipulation, if there's truth to that, James Charles could lose again, Jeffree Star could go up, and this could be just literally all, Social Blade's gonna break down. It just is gonna, Social Blade's not gonna be able to keep up with what's going on. But like I said in my last video, I think people are gonna get really sick and tired of this. And the thing is that if Jeffree Star comes out with a video with all kinds of, irrefutable receipts, what is James gonna do? Is he gonna get back on video again and address this again if it really affects him negatively? And then Tati, what's she gonna do? Come out and make a statement, and then Gabriel and Nikita are gonna say something, and then everybody's saying something. It is such a huge mess at this point. It is like such a huge, huge mess at this point. And it makes me really wonder what the next thing is going to be that happens. I do believe that Jeffree is going to make a video. Like I said, I think he's going to be forced to make a video, and he's kind of in this situation now where people are like, okay, Jeffree, we don't believe you. And a lot of people are standing by him because they're diehard fans, and a lot of people are standing behind James because they're diehard fans. And so it's really this stan culture of going back and forth and who believes who. So I don't really know what it would take for, like, if we had irrefutable truth come out, that we had all of the receipts. And the thing is this, okay, is that it really needs to be one person that is completely unbiased to this whole situation. And I know people are going to be like, Shane Dawson, Shane cannot do this, okay? Because Shane has been so close to Jeffree Star through all of this. It has to be somebody, even like an Andy Cohen or somebody. I'm sure Andy's like, oh, I want no part of any of this, right? But it needs to be somebody that is completely unbiased, that can sit down and can look at the whole situation and can say, okay, here's your part, here's your part, here's your part, what's the truth, what's not the truth, for all of us to really know, and then make our decisions, and then move on, and then everybody just needs to shut up about it, right? That everything's out, and we can just let it all get out, and everybody can have their opinions about it and move on. I think it's very, very telling that James Charles unfollowed on Instagram Shane Dawson. He has also unfollowed Jeffree Star. He has also unfollowed Tati. So even though he and Tati said, like he said to Tati, like, I love you or whatever, and Tati said to him, I love you, James, whatever, they have unfollowed each other on Instagram. Now, Jeffree Star had unfollowed him already, and now James has unfollowed all of them that have anything to do with this. So that's very telling to me what Shane's involvement of all of this is. Unless James believes that Shane has some background information on all of this, or he's part of conversations that are into this whole kind of like thing that's been, like, I don't know. I'm wondering if James doesn't feel like this whole thing has been set up behind his back for his downfall, which that could be true. I don't know. What do you guys think about that? Do you think that it was just kind of like one thing led to another, led to another, led to another? Or do you believe that this whole thing was calculated? Or do you think it's just a fluke that like this happened and nobody expected it happening? I don't know. It feels to me like it's a little bit of both. And I feel like everybody that's involved in all of this has different motives. I find it really, really hard to believe that Shane Dawson would be part of somebody's takedown. I have a hard time believing that. I could be wrong, but I just really struggle with believing that. So I don't know, like, I'm so confused by all of this. And I think a lot of the stans and the people that follow the fans are really confused about this too. When I went under this tweet of Jeffree Star's about the receipts and that he has a lot of disgusting things to say, after I saw this come out and I was like, okay, yeah, here again is another, ambiguous kind of tweet about all this stuff, and are you going to make a video, are you not going to make a video? And he's basically saying, yeah, I'm going to come out and show you guys the truth. Okay, so my first thing was, okay, I get it. The second thing I thought was, didn't you just say yesterday that you regretted putting that out and that it could have been handled behind the scenes? So because James put his video out, now you don't want to handle things behind the scenes anymore. You want to come out and share your side of the story, which that's his prerogative. He has the right to do that. But I'm like, okay, so everybody, is saying that, like, Jeffree Star owns his stuff. But, like, if you just the day before had said that you were reactionary and you regretted putting it out, then can somebody please be the adult in this situation? And can we stop acting like crazy like this? And can you guys please maybe handle the situation behind the scenes? Maybe James is not ready to have this conversation yet. Maybe Jeffree's not ready to have this conversation yet. Maybe Tati's not ready to have this conversation yet. But this is affecting the fans, okay, of you guys at this point, becoming consumed with this. Could you think about your fans for a second? Could you think about your careers, your brands, your families, your friends, the people around you, and maybe try to work this out behind the scenes? I think everybody would agree, James said it, that this has gone huge at this point. This has become something that we never expected it to happen. And I think it's become, we talk about Dramageddon 2018. This isn't even comparable. This is not even comparable. It's very, very sad, and a lot of people's lives are being affected and really hurt by all of this stuff. People that I'm not even talking about right now, not even YouTubers, If you go underneath here, it's interesting what people said to Jeffree Star. Somebody said, we don't want it, you're canceled. Somebody else said, but you all let James respond. Nah, everyone gets to share their side. Somebody else said this. Somebody said we should all not form an opinion until all three of them gets to tell their side. I feel like most of them have told their side at this point, you know? No, Jeffree hasn't come out on video and said anything. He could have, and it sounds like he will. So when he comes out, I'll reserve total judgment until all the information is out there. People continue to go on. Agreed. I feel like however questionable Jeffree's text was, there's no way he said that out of thin air. Some of us have followed Tati and Jeffree forever. We know they're honest, and I like to think that Tati would never... You know, I'm not going to get into the honesty and the integrity of all this kind of stuff, but let's just be for real, okay? All of these people at one point or another have been problematic, okay? If I've ever covered them in a drama video, or if any other drama channel has ever covered them in a drama video, that's because at some point or another, they have displayed problematic behavior, okay? Honesty outside of that, maybe they have been 100%, I don't know, honest. But all of these people at one point or another have been somewhat problematic, okay? Or they wouldn't find themselves in these scandals that they do. And then someone said, is it just me or the older fans are not as heated and jumping from channel to channel? Cancel culture nonsense, side the future is lost. And then it goes down here. Where is the one that I wanted to read? Landon Romano said, hey, Landon, how are you? Jeffree, why? Can we just close this chapter? I have a headache. And somebody said, Jeffree deserves his say now, to be honest. Tati and Jeffree were both moving forward, saying sorry and talking about forgiveness, and James came out with this total unnecessary and super manipulative video. Okay, so that's the part I am going to disagree with. You know, James came out with his apology a couple days ago. Everybody in the world has had, okay, not just YouTubers, but everybody has had questions about James and what's going on. He came out and he addressed it in a video. I don't know, maybe it was completely manipulative, but he has a right to come out and tell his truth. He has a right to come out and tell 15 videos. So does Jeffree. So does Tati. And I guess that for me is where it's like, where does it end? Because if Jeffree does come out and make a video, James is going to be forced yet again to make another video. Then Tati's going to be I mean, you guys, it's just going to become a mess. And the saddest thing to me about this total is that Tati said the other day in her video that if this is about money, she wants no part of it. I mean, will one of these people walk away from the influencer community because they just don't want any part of it anymore? If that were to be the case, I would think that it would be Tati. So we're going to lose somebody that a lot of people love because of all of this messiness. But then yet again, none of us knew about it until they all came out and started speaking about it. So I don't know, you know? Let's see, there was like this one down here that somebody said, they're talking about the time zones, they're talking about all this kind of stuff. The time zones apparently is what affected all this kind of stuff. People are talking about his video being fake. Side note to everyone liking it, probably, this isn't me taking sides, this is me stating possibilities. I've seen Tati's side. James did a really good job sharing his side. I'm waiting on Jeffree to express his explanation for his text messages. Don't mind me. And then this other person says in response to Jeffree Star, do it then. You're just stirring up drama right now. If you're going to try to ruin a person, give a reason. Your fan base, including myself, have overlooked, forgiven many things you've said and done. Explain now why we need to cancel this 19-year-old who gave receipts on you. And somebody said, Jeffree wasn't even a part of the original conflict. I'm confused. And somebody said, out of nowhere, he included himself in a situation when he chose to attack James' little brother and tweet about James as well. And then somebody said, not out of nowhere, James was sending snaps to Zach, who is Jeffree's boyfriend's brother. So naturally, he would be involved in this. And then somebody said, it is out of nowhere because Jeffree had plenty of opportunities to expose, and it goes in this whole thing. And the thing is that so many people are confused. So many people have sides in this, you know? It's like, I'm not a big believer in taking sides, taking camps, or whatever. I'm a believer in looking at all of the situations, sitting back, not being reactionary, looking at all the things, all the, you know, receipts out there, the evidence, everything, then making a response, you know? So I don't know. I really don't know what to think at this point. I'm so confused. What do you guys think about all this? Let me know in the comment section below. That's why I like to, you know, I like you guys that go down there and have a conversation and be classy, be kind, be compassionate to one another. It's okay if we have our sides. You know, I did a video the other day and I was talking about bias, and I said we all have personal biases. There's people that we like more than others, and that is going to affect our opinion about how we look at any situation. We all have bias, okay? So it's fair to say that. And if somebody wants to say, you know, like, hey, I'm a huge Jeffree fan, I believe him more than James. Or if somebody wants to say, I'm a huge Tati fan, or I'm a huge James fan, you know, and I see things this way or whatever, I think that's fair for us all to have bias. But then to also stand back with that bias and say, what is really going on here? What is it that we're not seeing? Because there seems to be a little bit of this, a little bit of this, a little bit of this. You know, it's like looking at a puzzle and there's always like one or two pieces missing, and so it's like you can't really see it for what it is. But to some degree, I believe this is like a magic eye puzzle where you sit there, you know what I'm talking about, where you sit there and you look at it, and you look at it, and you look at it, you look at it, and you can't see it. And then all of a sudden you're like, it's Game of Thrones, and it pops out at you. That's what's going on here. But what I'm wondering is, who's going to supply that last puzzle piece so that we can see it for exactly what it is? Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. I love you, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.